Well, that sucked. It was not a dream. It was not a dream. The New York Giants got absolutely dominated by, who did they even? The Seattle Seahawks. I almost forgot. Absolutely brutal. 24-3. And we're going to try to break it down on today's video. We're also going to look ahead into the future. There are rumors already circulating that potentially the Atlanta Falcons could trade for Daniel Jones. We'll break that down. We'll also touch on a Miami Dolphins preview for this upcoming week. So, we got a lot to discuss. Are there any real ones left? Are there any real ones left? I don't know. Are there any real ones left out there? If you're a real one, drop a real one down in the comments section. I see some real ones in the chat. 26 people strong. There's some real ones in this chat. You know, this is brutal, dude. This is brutal. Lumbagus, my man's coming in with a super chat, though. Lumbagus, I appreciate you, brother.
Yes.
I appreciate you for being here on a Tuesday morning after the Giants just got their butt whipped. Ridiculous. Lumbagus says, draft a QB with the first pick and O-line with the rest of them. I'm not against that.
That is definitely looking like the best game plan right now. You want to win games next season.
If you're talking about drafting a quarterback in the first round, you better buckle up and be ready for today's show. Because I'm going to give you 4 quarterbacks that the Giants can select in the 2024 NFL draft that is going to make this team better. Look, I've said this a couple of times. 2 things can be true, Seeps.
Yep.
2 things can be true. The O-line sucks, and Daniel Jones stinks.
Yeah.
Both can be true.
When you put up 3 points at home, it's definitely not just one or the other.
In 2 games.
In 2 games. It's definitely a combination of everything.
Nothing is going right for the Giants. Nobody is free of getting blamed. Everybody deserves blame. Blame Brian Daboll, Mike Kafka, Bobby Johnson, Wink Martindale, Thomas McGahee. Everyone deserves blame. What could go wrong has gone wrong, and I will tell you this right here. The longer Joe Schoen sticks with this quarterback, I think the shorter his road as a GM here is going to go. Lord, oh Lord, oh Lord. Let's start with this. What's the bigger problem right now? The bigger problem, what is it? Type DJ if you think it's Daniel Jones. Type OL for the offensive line. The only reason, Seeps, that I'm going to say, I'll say this. The reason the Giants are losing more so is the blame goes to the O-line. But the bigger problem the Giants have is Daniel Jones for the simple fact that he is owed $82 million guaranteed and has a dead cap hit of $69 million next year.
So you're saying the bigger problem right now is the O-line.
The O-line.
But the harder problem to fix is Daniel Jones.
100%.
Okay.
Because nobody on the offensive line is paid except for Andrew Thomas, and we know he's special. He's just hurt. Yeah. Is it unfortunate that you drafted Evan Neal with the 7th overall pick and he's a bust? Yeah, he is a bust. He's no good. He's a scrub. He's slow. He's good at blocking Darren Waller, and that's about it. OG says, can any QB play behind this offensive line? So I was going to save this, but I will say it. Pro Football Focus has a stat where they charge sacks to either the offensive line or they charge them to the quarterback. Daniel Jones was sacked 11 times last night. Pro Football Focus, who is a non-biased party, they're not Giants fans. They said only 4 of the 11 sacks were the offensive line's problem last night, which means Daniel Jones took 7 sacks on his own watch. I don't know if I completely agree. I think they need a little bit more info to come to that conclusion, but that's what they're saying. I'll also say this. Daniel Jones is scared to stay in the pocket.
Yeah.
I went back and watched the All-22 film. He continues to leave the pocket before there's pressure. He is seeing ghosts. He has no confidence.
I think the biggest play that kind of showed that was when he just wouldn't throw that crossing route on his second interception, and he kept patting the football. That's when you always know a QB is sort of seeing ghosts, quote unquote, is when they start patting the football too much. I mean, Daniel Jones. I mean, we should do a shot for every time he pats the football against Miami because it is definitely a lot.
Look, I like Daniel Jones. I'm thankful for what he did for this organization last year. I'm always going to credit him for being a hard worker. He loves the New York Giants. I think he's trying his hardest. The thing is, Seeps, if you're a cook and you try your hardest to be a really good cook, but the food you make tastes like shit, you're not going to be a good cook. Yeah. And I've watched Daniel Jones for 5 years, and there's only been 1 year where I've been like, this guy's a good quarterback.
Yep.
I want him to be good. I'm rooting for him because we are screwed with his contract. I don't want him to be bad. We all want him to be good. The only way for the Giants to be good is for him to be good. And right now, he's not. Equal blame for me. The O-line is bad, but so is Daniel Jones. And also the play calling is bad. Some of the play designs that I saw last night coming out of the All-22 film was just doesn't make any sense to me. The Seahawks play a cover 3 defense. They like to drop. And we're not beating any cover 3 beaters. You know what beats cover 3? Seams. We didn't throw one seam yesterday. I just don't get it.
And especially when you have a guy like Waller.
That's where he thrives.
Yes, exactly. Like, that's just where it gets so dang frustrating. Play calling's bad. Just like, also, I didn't like in the first half. I feel like they came out and they said, on second downs, we're going to no huddle in the third down. I feel like Daniel Jones just got like it was just like a deer in headlights again. It was like go, 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 go. I think they were trying to catch the defense off guard on those big plays. Ended up just kind of catching themselves off guard. I didn't like that either, but obviously, easier said looking back on things.
And then what about fourth down, where we all agreed the Giants should go for it? They run the tush push.
Yep.
That's fine. Brian Daboll admitted today that they have never practiced that play. It's just a walkthrough. How are you supposed to simulate a rugby scrum at the line of scrimmage via walkthrough?
You can't.
It's a joke. So we're running plays on fourth down that are going to decide the football game, and you don't practice them. How is that possible? How is that possible? Also, the Giants ran the tush push, I believe, against the Cardinals 2 weeks ago, and they were successful twice. They didn't even use the same personnel in this game. They changed the formation. They had 2 offensive linemen behind Daniel Jones, and they still couldn't get it done. So they changed what they did, tried something new, did not practice it, and thought it would be a good idea to run the play on fourth down. And you end up getting your center hurt, and you end up getting your backup tight end hurt. Maybe we're just soft.
Yeah.
Maybe we're just a soft football team. Oh,
But
man.
you shouldn't be with your identity of your defensive line. That's the most frustrating part with me, especially with a lot of these guys, is like the D-line has to, honestly, they have to dominate if this team wants to be good. And they honestly should have dominated last night, and they didn't. The Seahawks D-line and what they had going on, they dominated that football game. Like, I know Kayvon Thibodeau played well. Dexter Lawrence played well in spots. But, like, it should have been a game record type of game.
Yeah, they had 4 backup offensive linemen in the game. 2 backup tackles, 2 backup guards. And their starting center used to play for the Giants as a backup. I believe his name is Evan Brown. No good. No good. We're going to do a mailbag coming up, and I just want to hear from you guys. We've got a mailbag. I want you guys to get your questions, your thoughts, your concerns out there. Just include hashtag Giants in your comments down below. That way producer Seeps can pop them up on screen. Hashtag Giants or Super Chat. Sir says, I am throwing up. Mike says 64-3 in 2 home games. That sums it up. The Giants have not scored a touchdown in MetLife Stadium. The Giants have not scored a touchdown in the first half of a game this year.
Like 64-3. Like, really think about that.
That's ridiculous.
Like, really think about how much of a difference there is between 64-3 in terms of an NFL scoring.
Some people run into touchdowns. Some people just have a broken coverage. The DB falls down. You hit the wide receiver wide open. A fumble 6.
Yes,
something. We can't do anything. Like, it's not hard to score points in the National Football League in 2023. The game and the rules are tailor-made for the offense to be successful.
Yep. And
we can't find a way to do it. Mike Kafka is officially on the hot seat. I don't know who's calling plays. I saw Brian Daboll talking into a play sheet.
It doesn't really matter, frankly, who's calling plays. It's a disaster.
Either way, if it is Kafka, Daboll still deserves part of the blame because he's letting him call plays like this.
Yes.
Everyone deserves blame.
I mean, it's not like during the week, Daboll and Kafka sit down and they have their first 15 scripted like all NFL teams do. Like, it's not like Kafka's going rogue and Daboll's not involved. Or it's not the opposite where Daboll's calling it and Kafka's not involved.
And the thing, like you said, is they're scripted plays. 70% of your first half plays are scripted.
Yes.
The Giants have not scored a first half touchdown this year. What does that tell you?
You also had 11 days to prepare that too. Like,
you had 11 days to prepare for a Seahawks defense that was giving up 30 points per game and over 400 yards in their first 3 games. They allowed Andy Dalton to throw for almost 400 yards, and you could not score a touchdown.
And it just feels like a bad movie.
And it's not getting better soon because you got Miami this week and you got Buffalo next week. Lord.
And you can make, I mean, those are 2 top 5 teams in the league.
Yeah.
Like, wagons, too.
Ooh, bad. Shout out to Pokey Moore for getting a question in. Nope, got a question in. Corinne, you're right. Time to change the script. You can't score on scripted plays. That's a problem. Those are plays that you run and walk through over and over and over and over again. This is brutal, man. The person, though, that deserves the most blame is John Mara. John Mara, the owner of this team, he is a Daniel Jones believer. There are rumors out there that he made Joe Schoen sign Daniel Jones to that contract. I don't know how true those are, but he's the head honcho. He's the one that runs the organization. The Giants have 2 winning seasons, 1 playoff win since 2012. We are 3 months away from 2024. I will say that again. The Giants have 2 winning seasons and 1 playoff win since 2012. It is 2024 in 3 months.
That's brutal.
There's been 2 constants in those times. John Mara and Daniel Jones. You can find out who the problem is. Obviously, the O-line is bad. But you know what superstar quarterbacks do? They get paid $40+ million and they elevate the other players around them. No, the Chargers aren't a good offensive line. Shoot, even the Vikings have a terrible offensive line, and Kirk Cousins is throwing for 400 yards every week.
What about Trevor Lawrence goes to Jacksonville and he has them winning a playoff game in his 2nd year?
Look, if you want to blame everybody else but Daniel Jones, that's fine. I'll be here to listen to you. But I'm not doing it anymore. I've watched him for 5 years. Simply put, he's just not that good. And that's okay. That's okay. We move on. All righty. If you haven't yet, we'd appreciate it if you did hit that thumbs up icon. We got 121 people watching. I'm going to take a sip of this Joe. It's the only thing keeping me alive at this point. Let's get up to 50 likes. Let's go.
Also, send in any super chats you guys want to, get your venting out of the way here. It's going to be a family, a little vent session.
If we get a $50 super chat, I'm doing a beer shotgun.
Let's go.
If we get a $100 super chat, I'm doing a beer boot.
Let's go.
If we're going to do this today, we're going to do it. I need it. I need all the stimulants in my body to keep surviving watching this damn team and having to talk about them every freaking day. God damn it. Sorry for cursing. All righty, let's get into it. Could the New York Giants be trading Daniel Jones to the Atlanta Falcons? Rumors surrounding the $160 million quarterback were lit on fire after the Giants lost on Monday Night Football 24-3 to the Seattle Seahawks. You're watching Giants Now by Chat Sports. I'm your host, Marshall Green. We're going to break down this trade rumor from Benjamin Albright. Then on the tail end of the show, I'm going to give you 4 quarterbacks that the Giants could replace Daniel Jones with in the 2024 NFL Draft. NFL insider Benjamin Albright tweeted this out last night. The Giants are going to wind up with a top 5 draft pick and probably take Drake Maye, quarterback out of North Carolina. If I were the Atlanta Falcons, I might sniff around Daniel Jones. Arthur Smith, former offensive coordinator for the Titans, has a history of rehabilitating a quarterback with that skill set. He's talking about Ryan Tannehill, and I think Ryan Tannehill and Daniel Jones are cut from the same cloth. They're average quarterbacks, average arm talent, and mobile quarterbacks that, just simply put, are not that good. Do the Falcons even want Daniel Jones? That's going to be my first question, because I don't think they do. It's a massive, massive contract. So we're about to show you a series of photos of Daniel Jones's contract. You'll notice the thing that changes on the right is where it says dead money and cap savings. If the Giants were to trade Daniel Jones, that would be his dead money and cap savings. So if the Giants trade Daniel Jones right now, they will have a dead money charge of $11 million through 2026. If they were to cut Daniel Jones after this season, the Giants would have a dead cap charge of $69.3 million. If they cut him in 2025, they would have just a dead cap hit of $22 million, and they would save $19 million. But if they wait until after June 1st of this season, they would have a dead cap hit of $47 million. They wouldn't save any money, but they could wait prior to 2025, and they could save $30 million and have a dead cap hit of $11 million. Plain and simple, there is no easy way to get out of this contract. Everyone talks about the outs this contract has, and it does have that. But right now, the Giants are facing a massive bill, and a lot of money is going to be going to Daniel Jones' bank account via the pockets of John Mara. Look at what Jones has done this year compared to last year. One of the things that made Daniel Jones a winning quarterback last year was his ability to take care of the football. It was his ability to not put the ball in harm's way. He has not done that this year. He turned the ball over just 5 times via interception last year. He's already thrown 6 interceptions so far this year. The man has thrown 2 touchdown passes in 4 games. Think about that. 4 games. The man has thrown 2 touchdown passes. The man has 765 yards in 4 games. That is less than 200 passing yards. Blame the O-line all you want. When you're the face of the franchise, when you're the highest paid player on the team, and you play quarterback, it's your job to get it done. And right now, he is not. I'll ask you this question. Who is the bigger problem? Who is the bigger problem? Is it Daniel Jones? Is it the offensive line? Look, I think, let's just go to this. 2 things can be true. 2 things can be true. It's hard to understand that for some people. But 2 things can be true. The Giants offensive line stinks, and Daniel Jones is playing bad. He wasn't under pressure on the pick 6. He threw it right to Devin Witherspoon. He wasn't pressured on the interception he threw over the middle to Diggs. He was scared. He didn't have any anticipatory throwing at all going on there. 2 things can be true. The O-line stinks, and Daniel Jones is playing bad. Thing is, when you make $160 million, always going to be on your feet a little bit more. There's no easy outs with this contract. Hope the best case scenario is you can find a way to trade him. If not, he's going to be on this roster next year. And if he doesn't turn it around this year, I'll tell you this right now. Daniel Jones will be the bridge quarterback in 2024 and then will be cut the following season. Because if the Giants end up cutting Daniel Jones after the 2024 season, they have a dead cap hit of just $22 million. I say just. It's much better than the prior year of $69 million. What's a bridge quarterback? It's a guy that's going to be your quarterback for maybe 6 games into the next season, then he hands off the job to somebody else. Will be the most expensive bridge quarterback of all time. I also want to say this because I do still believe this. I still believe this. Daniel Jones does not suck. He's just not a franchise quarterback. And there's a huge difference between that. Not sucking is here. Franchise quarterback is here. He's about right here. He's somewhere in the middle. I will call him a bus driver. He can only drive the bus. He needs everything to be perfect around him. if he doesn't have a perfect pocket, if people aren't running wide open, if he doesn't have the best running back in the NFL, if he doesn't have the best play calling in the NFL, he can be a serviceable quarterback and get you to the playoffs. We saw that last year. Very easy schedule. But he needs everything to be perfect around him. Like it was in that Minnesota Vikings game. He played the worst defensive coordinator in the league. Offensive line looked great. Had Saquon Barkley. Had Isaiah Hodgins. If things are perfect, he can drive the bus. But as soon as a tire goes flat, as soon as the car needs a little bit more gas, I'm not sure he's that guy. It's not just this year, though, that the Giants have been bad. Let's be honest with ourselves and let's admit it. The Giants have been a bad football team for about 10 months now. The last 14 games, the Giants are 4-9-1. The last 14 games, the Giants are 4-9-1. And they have been outscored 382 to 259 in the last 14 games. It's not just a 2023 problem. They were not good at the end of 2022. They got to play the Vikings. Shout out to Ed Donatel. $40 million quarterbacks are supposed to elevate teams. You pay these guys big money to make everybody around you better. And I just don't see that from Daniel Jones. Justin Herbert doesn't have a good offensive line. Kirk Cousins doesn't have a good offensive line. Trevor Lawrence doesn't have a good offensive line. They don't have a problem winning games. They don't have a problem scoring points. Kirk Cousins is on pace to throw for the most touchdowns in NFL history. And he has almost a worse offensive line than the Giants. It's about being a gamer. It's about getting it done. It's about not being a prisoner of the moment. Get off of the prisoner mentality. If you tell yourself I'm only going to be good I'm not going to be good if the situation like this continues to present itself, you're never going to succeed in life. And right now, he is not succeeding as a quarterback in the National Football League. I want to ask this question. Do the Giants need to draft a quarterback this year? I want to hear from you. Do the Giants need to draft a quarterback this year? Type D for draft, type P for pass. If you're typing your Ds, hang around. We're going to show you 4 guys the Giants can draft that I believe will change the trajectory of this franchise. But first, I got to tell you guys about our awesome sponsor of today's show, Z-Biotics. Got to be honest, sometimes after the watch parties and the super chat paloozas, the next morning is not all that good. And that is until I found Z-Biotics, which is a pre-alcohol probiotic, and it's the world's first genetically engineered probiotic. It was invented by PhD scientists to tackle rough mornings after drinking. Here's how it works. When you drink, alcohol gets converted into a toxic byproduct in the gut. It's this byproduct, not dehydration, that's to blame for your rough next day. Z-Biotics produces an enzyme to break this byproduct down. It's designed to work like your liver, but in your gut where you need it most. Drink Z-Biotics before drinking alcohol, drink responsibly, and get a good night's sleep to feel your best. This Halloween, pair your candy and cocktails with Z-Biotics to avoid a spooky next morning. That's zbiotics.com/chatsports, and remember to use the code chatsports at checkout for 15% off. Thank you, Z-Biotics, for sponsoring today's video. That link will be down in the comments and description of today's show. All righty. Yes, we're talking about Daniel Jones' replacement. Absolutely. Absolutely. Let's start with the best quarterback in the NFL draft and the best draft prospect since Andrew Luck, Caleb Williams. The Giants need someone that can change this franchise, and he can absolutely do it. When I watch quarterback tape, I've never seen anything like Caleb Williams. It's almost like you're watching Patrick Mahomes play college football. That's how incredible this kid is. Look at what he's done in his career so far. Spent some time at Oklahoma, last 2 years at USC. In 29 games, he has thrown for 8,000 yards. 29 games, the dude has thrown for 8,000 yards. 84 touchdowns, just 10 interceptions. He's also one athletic dude. 907 rushing yards and 19 touchdowns. 67% completion percentage. Caleb Williams is generational, man. And the only way the Giants are going to be able to draft Caleb Williams is if they have the number 1 pick in the NFL draft. And right now, they may be on their way to doing so, because I went and looked at the rest of the schedule. We talked about it on the video this morning on the channel. There are no easy wins on this schedule. Maybe the easiest one is the Las Vegas Raiders. That's really about it. If Caleb Williams is there at number 1 and you have that pick, you make the pick, you keep Daniel Jones, and you cut him the following year. He is special, special, special. I'm not going to say he's Patrick Mahomes, but he's the closest thing this league has ever seen to Patrick Mahomes. A quarterback that we talked about earlier that Benjamin Albright linked the Giants to. What about Drake Maye? Drake Maye is your prototypical 6'5", 220-pound, strong-arm, athletic quarterback. He reminds me of Justin Herbert. The ball flies out of his hands. He can throw it all over the yard, and he's not a statue in the pocket. 67% completion percentage so far in his career at North Carolina. Over 5,500 yards, 44 touchdowns, 11 interceptions. He's a really good quarterback, man. He's someone that I believe in. He's someone that if you go and watch his tape, he's going to show you that he could be a good quarterback in the NFL. And if the Giants are picking top 5, I would love for them to see Drake Maye as a potential prospect. What about J.J. McCarthy, quarterback for Michigan? I covered J.J. McCarthy in high school when he was at IMG Academy. I got to interview him. Really nice dude. But more importantly, the dude's a heck of a player. And one thing that I like about J.J. is he is a gamer. He's going to battle. He's going to do everything he can to win games. And he showed you this year at Michigan, he looks like one of the best quarterbacks in college football. So far in his career, completing almost 67% of his passes, 37 touchdowns, 10 interceptions. He's a good player. He's someone that I think may need a little time in the NFL to get ready, so it could make some sense to have Daniel Jones with him. But his arm talent is crazy. The ball pops out of his hand. He's an underrated athlete. And I think with a smart coach like Brian Daboll, at least we think he's a smart coach, he can get the absolute most out of the kid. Last quarterback I want to talk about potentially as a Daniel Jones replacement. What about Shedeur Sanders? I know it's been a very limited sample size for him so far at Colorado, but one thing that really, really pops off the tape when I watch Shedeur Sanders is his ability to find completions. He completes 74.8% of his passes. He doesn't put the ball in harm's way all that often. 2 interceptions in 5 games. He's got 15 touchdowns. Not the most athletic guy. He actually, in my opinion, goes down a little bit too easy in the pocket, but the arm talent is there. He's got a rubber arm. He can throw it from multiple angles. He can make plays on the run. He's a special player, and I think that he is just a budding star. A little more time to develop, kind of like J.J. McCarthy, only 1 year at the Division I level, but the dude is uber talented, and I think he could be a franchise quarterback for any team that believes in him and does what they have to do to develop him. Whether it's one of those 4 guys or there's other guys we haven't even talked about on this show so far that are also going to be really good. And I'll just say this, the 2024 NFL Draft is loaded with quarterback talent. And if the Giants end up picking in the top 10, there is no way they can leave that draft without a quarterback selected in that top 10. If you end up being picking in the top 10, means your quarterback's not all that good. And it probably means it was a mistake paying him $160 million. Can anyone succeed with this O-line? You know what? Maybe not. But I would like to see someone battle a little bit more and not be phased. You know what your number one job as a quarterback is to do? Focus on the play at hand and move on to the next play. Don't let the play that happened last play affect you this play. Daniel Jones does that too often. He sees ghosts. He's not confident. His pocket mobility is terrible. He doesn't make plays outside of the pocket. He doesn't get it done. So I want to ask you this question. Who is your favorite draft quarterback not named Caleb Williams? Because the obvious answer is Caleb Williams. He's going to go number 1, undisputed. Lock it in right now. Outside of Caleb Williams, who's your favorite draft quarterback? Let me know in the comment section right now. I'm very disappointed in the way this Giants team played, and I want to make it abundantly clear. 2 things can be true. The O-line is bad, and the quarterback is playing bad. You don't have to pick a side here. You could just say yes. They both need to get better. We'll be back later. See you, Big Blue. Oh, I got a Shedeur Sanders in there, Quinn Ewers, Drake Maye. Mr. Cha says Bo Nix.
Bo Nix? Yeah, I don't know if Bo's an NFL guy.
I don't either. And how long has he been in college?
This is his 7th year, I think.
I like Bo Nix. I don't as a college quarterback.
I'm a big Quinn Ewers guy.
I like Quinn.
I don't know
if I like him in New York.
I like this buzz cut, peaceful mentality he's got going on right now.
You know I'm a big Quinn Ewers guy.
He kind of went from a little punk to kind of like really, really growing up a little bit. Hey, but there are 5 or 6 quarterbacks where you're feeling pretty confident taking in the top 10.
Yeah. Even if it's who's my guy with the best arm in college football? I'm blanking on his name. South Carolina.
Oh, Rattler.
Even if Rattler's there in the second round, maybe you trade up to pick 33.
If
you like, if
that's not a bad guy to take.
If aliens came down to Earth and you explained them what a good quarterback is, and you saw, what's his name again? Spencer Rattler and Daniel Jones throw the football, they are going to say Spencer Rattler is 100% better.
He's got way better arm.
Oh
talent.
my God, his arm blows Daniel Jones out of the water.
Yeah.
Cha says 7 years of college ain't nothing. My daughter did 8. Hey, I did a lot. Hey, I did a couple of redshirt years in college myself. Look, school. I didn't go to college for school. I went to college to get a paper so I could work in sports.
Yeah. That's funny.
Mr. Rick, there's one thing you're always going to do, and it's going to make me laugh, and I appreciate that.
Penix. I mean, Penix is a good option.
I haven't watched much on him, but I'm seeing the buzz grow.
Yeah.
I haven't. Those are 4 guys that I have watched very closely, and I'm all confident in.
Yeah.
Maybe I think Shedeur is going to come back to college next year. To be honest with you.
Oh, I think he is too.
But man,
I like J.J. I think J.J. If you watch his tape, he's not going to blow you away, but it's intangibles. Like he's a good dude.
He's a gamer, dude.
He is a gamer.
He's a gamer, man.
Hey,
and he's been in a professional atmosphere for the past 4 years. IMG is a college program.
Yes, they are.
Rashad says, I don't want to see another Golden Boy QB. All those guys we showed you were dual threats. Maybe not looking to run, but none of them are in the statues in the pocket at all.
Yeah, JJ's a good athlete.
JJ's an underrated athlete, too.
Underrated. Maye's a very good athlete. I mean, obviously, Caleb Williams.
I'm going to be honest right here. If I could sign a document that says, I guarantee you the Giants will get Caleb Williams, but it means we won't win another game this season, I would sign it.
100%.
I would sign it.
I bet you most fan bases would sign that.
I would sign it. I would sacrifice
Shit, dude. I mean,
13 more losses this year if it meant Caleb Williams was a Giant.
Dude, I might do that.
Watching
Lord. Caleb Williams is like you kind of said in the video, it is like watching a pro playing college football.
It's ridiculous.
Like, he makes them look like kids.
He reminds me of if Aaron Rodgers and Mahomes had a baby.
Yeah.
And a little Kyler Murray sprinkled in there because he's a little shorter.
He does have a little Kyler.
He's pretty damn good. We did have some super chats come in. My man Lubagus says, I believe a change of scenery would be good for Daniel Jones. He has looked bad, and the Giants hampered his development. He looks scared and lost. Fire sale and let Daboll start new with Williams or Maye or Penix. Look, if you end up picking inside the top 10 this year, you have to restart.
Yep.
You have to. Like, come on, man. You were going to say you can't do it. What about the money? Eli Manning was making $25 million the year that they drafted Daniel Jones. So you can do it. They already actually did it.
You can do whatever you want. You just got to be okay with the ramifications of it.
You got to, man. It all starts with it's a head coach quarterback league. It's a head coach quarterback league. Your head coach and quarterbacks are good, you're going to win games consistently. If they're not, you may have a good season. At the end of the day, starts with your head coach, starts with your quarterback, and I'm losing confidence in Daboll as every game goes on. Jay Liv says, Knicks live chat. No Knicks today. We're getting close, though, Jay Liv. We are getting close. The NBA season is right around the corner. If you're a Knicks fan, check out our Knicks channel run by myself, Patrick Seatman, the producer over there as well. Just type in Knicks Now by Chat Sports over on the search up there. Jay Liv, back again. Jay Liv, we appreciate you. Big super chat last night. Shout out to you, dog. Joe Schoen has to get the draft right. 100%. Look, I need to be giving him more flack. I just believe, philosophically with what he believes in. But so far, it's not working. I think he's missed on Evan Neal. He missed on Joshua Zudu. He missed on Marcus McKeithen. He missed on Mark Lewinsky. You can't keep using draft capital and NFL free agency dollars on offensive linemen, and they're not good. So, yeah, he needs to do better. Joe Schoen needs to do better. He saw the Giants' offensive line get their teeth kicked in by the Eagles 3 times last year. And all he did, which I applaud him for doing this one step, is drafting John Michael Schmitz. But it wasn't enough. It wasn't enough. Like, the idea that you thought Ben Bredesen was a quality starting left guard is a problem. The thought that you could run it back with Mark Lewinsky as your starting right guard is a problem. Damian makes a good point. How is Bobby Johnson still employed? Yeah. Yeah, he's not a good O-line coach. If you're not developing, like, how many times are there free edge rushers? Like, how many times are we going to let someone untouched come into the backfield? That's scheme. Yeah. That's coaching. The Seahawks had 4 backup offensive linemen in. I didn't see us getting pressure like that.
Just everything the Giants do looks hard. Everything other teams do look easy.
Yep.
That's coaching.
With the Giants not playing the last 2 Sundays, I've been able to very closely watch other teams play football, and it looks easy for other teams to generate yards and first downs. It looks like we're playing with 8 players.
Yeah.
It's really unbelievable. It really is. Lumba gets back again with a $5 super chat. I find it hard to believe this many linemen suck. At what point do they look at Bobby Johnson and the lack of development? This is ridiculous. And Zach Attack right below him says we still can't block stunts. There was a training camp stunt that I was taught when I was 8 years old. This guy goes this way. This guy goes this way. And Ben Bredesen and Marcus McKeithen are just look like they're lost out there. Like they can't do anything.
It's just a combination of everything. Like you're not this bad because of one position group or one player. You're this bad because of everything.
They're bad. They're really bad. Still rooting for them. Gonna be rooting for them every single Sunday. But at the end of the day, man, they've got to hold up their end of the bargain. It's really hard to support a product that doesn't value you as a fan. And John Mara has told you for the last 5 years that he thinks Daniel Jones is good enough to win games. And I know I keep going back to the quarterback. Well, he's the face of the organization. He makes more money than anybody that works in that building. So, yeah, he's going to be the target.
Yeah.
I think he's 1-12 on primetime games in his career. And the only primetime win he has is against the Washington Commanders and Taylor Heineke. Ridiculous. Leonard Zinnard. My man, are you a Zen guy? You a Zinny? Are you a Zinimal? I honestly think the Bears are better than us. I hate losing, but I honestly wouldn't be too mad if it was for Caleb Williams. He's insanely good. I said it. If I could sign a document right now that guaranteed me Caleb Williams and all it meant is the Giants have to lose every game the rest of the season, I would sign it immediately.
100%.
I would sign it immediately.
Could you imagine if that party, whoever gets that number 1 overall pick, like week 18 is going to be electric. The amount of tanking that's going to be going on in week 18 of this season, dude.
He says he is a Zen guy. Love that. What's your go-to flavor? Brother?
Leonard Zinnard.
Who wins in a game, Giants or Bears? I honestly think it's the Bears. Dude, we suck. Dude, Justin Fields.
Dude.
Giants suck, dude.
The Bears suck.
The Bears do suck. Who wins in a game? Giants, Bears. Type G for Giants, B for Bears. Who wins?
The Caleb Williams Bowl.
Bears from Damien. Bears from Tom.
Who do the
Bears from Nicholas. Steven says Giants. Carl says Bears. Future Orbit says Bears. Steven says I cannot support all. I'm not supporting. I'm just asking you who do you think would win the football game? I'd be rooting for the Giants, but I think the Bears would win. They've at least scored a touchdown at home this year. Do you think about that, guys? Think about that. The Giants haven't scored a touchdown. A touchdown at MetLife Stadium this year. And one of the games was versus the Dolphins. They were giving up 30 points before today.
I'm saying as a secret because obviously the Giants didn't know that, and they didn't know that they were playing a bad defense. So we'll keep that secret between us. The Bears would beat the Giants.
Justin Fields would probably throw for 350 against them. Honestly, it's not our defense. I'm being a little pessimistic here. Our defense really isn't that bad.
No.
Daniel Jones did his Christmas shopping early and gift wrapped 14 points for the Seahawks last night. Mike S., I'll meet you at MetLife Stadium. Let's jump the fence and let me throw you a tutty. That way I can say the Giants scored at MetLife Stadium this year. Because you're on the road for, think about this, Seeps. The next 2 games you're on the road. The next game the Giants play at home is going to be Week 7 against the Washington Commanders. And that date is October 22nd.
Oh my God.
The Giants on October 21st will have not scored a touchdown at MetLife Stadium. Imagine if they don't score versus Washington. Washington.
I mean, we saw it last night. This is the least amount of points scored in the first 2 home games.
Luckily, they get to play the Jets at MetLife. I mean, that might be a game.
What do you think that Jets defense?
No,
is
I'm saying
do?
like they get an extra home game essentially to score a touchdown. They essentially get another game.
I don't think they're scoring a touchdown against the Jets, dude.
So you're telling me if they don't score a touchdown versus the Jets, and their next game, do you think they score a touchdown versus Commanders?
They should. I mean, Commanders have a sneaky good defense, though.
Will the Giants score a touchdown versus the Commanders? Type Y for yes, type N for no. If they don't score a touchdown versus the Commanders, and they don't score a touchdown versus the Jets, their next home game is November 26th. We may have Thanksgiving turkey before the Giants score a touchdown at MetLife Stadium.
Dude, that is so far away. They can't, like...
We may be eating freaking turkey before Daniel Jones throws for a touchdown.
Oh, my God.
Gus Nini says, does Sanders have speed like his dad? No. Shedeur Sanders is not a running quarterback.
No.
He's a pocket quarterback with mobility, but he looks to throw first, which honestly I like. We may be eating freaking pumpkin pie. Or that pumpkin pie, sweet potato pie, whichever one you like. We may be eating that before the Giants score a touchdown at MetLife Stadium. That's bad.
I can't get over that now.
Are they going to score versus Washington?
I hope, dude. Or because the Jets will flat.
I'm not confident.
The Jets will shut them out.
Oh, we're going to
do you
get
think
blown out by the
What do you
Jets.
think Quinnen Williams is going to do to those dudes on the inside?
Hey, we signed Justin Pugh, though. We signed Justin Pugh.
Feel bad for him.
Cha with a prediction. Daniel Jones fakes an injury to end the season.
Hey, that might help the Giants' chances.
Like I said, I would sign on the dotted line right now if it meant no wins and you get Caleb Williams. I would do it. Damian, Drew Lock has more passing touchdowns at MetLife Stadium than Daniel Jones.
And he's played one drive. He's played one drive.
Bruh. The Cowboys special teams has more touchdowns than the Giants at MetLife Stadium.
Oh, my God.
Thank God we don't play the Chiefs this year. Because if I had to see Taylor Swift on my screen while my team's getting that ass waxed, I don't think I could do it.
Devin Witherspoon has more touchdowns.
Devin Witherspoon has more touchdowns than Saquon Barkley, Darren Waller, Daniel Jones, Wan'Dale Robinson, Daniel Bellinger, Matt Breida, and every other player on the Giants at MetLife Stadium this year.
If I would have told you that going into the year, the rookie corner for the Seahawks will have more touchdowns at MetLife after week 4.
You know what? I'm just proud that we got 190 people watching this right now.
You know what?
That's a dub.
That is a
Everybody
dub.
clap it up. Get the clap emojis going in the chat. Clap it up. If you ever wondered if you're a real one, if you're watching today, you're a real one.
Yeah, if you're watching today,
James Lombardi says you got to stay positive. James, I can't. I'm sorry. James, I don't know how. How? Positive, like, the only silver lining last night, it is the silver lining ever, was Wan'Dale Robinson, Kayvon Thibodeau, and DJ Davidson looked good yesterday.
Hey,
DJ Davidson might be the best player from that 2022 draft class.
Yeah.
He's better than Evan Neal.
Definitely the best value pick right now.
Jesus Christ. Noski says, did I see the Giants being this bad? No, absolutely not. No, I did not. Jones' pick 6 doesn't count for them scoring? No. He did throw a touchdown. Check that. Daniel Jones has thrown a touchdown at MetLife Stadium.
He just threw it to Devin Witherspoon.
He just threw it to the other team.
It was a 99-yard touchdown.
I'm about to drink this freaking Windex. I'm about to drink this Windex if I have to watch this team play freaking 60 more minutes and not score a touchdown.
Oh, dude, Christmas is going to suck.
Dear God,
Please flex that game.
take the Giants
Please
off
flex
of
that
Christmas.
I am begging you. If that's what we need to do is to see the Eagles run the tush push 3 times for a touchdown on Christmas, I'm done. I'm done.
If the Giants do not score a touchdown at MetLife Stadium before Thanksgiving, I will drink Windex.
You heard it. You heard it.
It's ridiculous.
Hey, he can do what he wants, Jack.
Cha says lemon-flavored Windex isn't that bad. I'll make sure to buy some of that
we'll
before Thanksgiving. Jesus Christ.
Christmas might be fucking brutal.
Francisco said he's got me. A. Rivera says on the rocks. Everything on the rocks is better.
Come on.
Lumbagus, or J-Liv, bring in Bill Callahan. Sure.
It don't matter.
Like, come
There's
on.
a lot that needs to be fixed.
Holy shit. Lumbagus, John Mara doesn't respect the fans. Mr. Rick can tell this better than I can. John Mara doesn't give a shit about the fans. It was fan day at the Giant Stadium, I think 2 years ago, and you know what the souvenir was? A medium Pepsi, no refills. Not a large, not a souvenir cup,
No way.
not free refills, a medium Pepsi. No refills. And the cup had to be full of ice.
How did this team make the playoffs and win a game last year? That's where I'm at. That's where I'm at. How the fucking the Vikings lose to you guys? This pisses me off now even more. Oh my God.
Oh, it was medium Pepsis. Only for fan day at the stadium, it was medium Pepsis, but only for season ticket holders.
What? I would throw it back in his face.
My man Bill's in the chat. What up, Bill? Last night I quote tweeted Bill is super popular on Twitter right now, and that's freaking cool. Says I tweeted a video of DJ's view of 4 guys rushing to take his head off. Freaking terrifying. Yeah, not good. Francisco Salinas, my man, appreciate the super chat. If we can't get Caleb, do we go lineman and hope? And then also, Mr. Rick is saying if you were a season ticket holder and you had 4 tickets, meaning you went with your 3 daughters, they had to split all one medium Pepsi. Did they at least give you 4 bendy straws? Did they give you 4 bendy straws, Mr. Rick, to share it?
You have 4 coming out of the cup.
Your turn, Susie. They give 5-month calendars. They're a fucking joke.
That's so funny, dude.
That's a joke. It's embarrassing. It's embarrassing. The Giants are the Cleveland Browns. We're the Cleveland Browns of the 2020s. Shoot, the 2010s. Wellington Mara, I heard he was buried close to MetLife Stadium. They are asking if his grave could be moved because he doesn't want to be next to that pile of shit. All righty. We're about to get into our preview. Giants versus Dolphins. And I'm going to tell you how the Giants can win. You may not believe it, You may not believe it, but I'm going to tell you how the Giants can go to Miami and beat the Dolphins.
You got to keep a straight face throughout this video.
I intentionally did not put a score prediction in this video.
Yeah. All right.
All righty.
Ready.
Let's get into it. Yo, what up, everybody? We're going to preview this matchup, Giants versus the Dolphins in Miami. But first, I want to get all of you to weigh in. Who do you got? Who do you got in this matchup? Is it the Giants? Is it the Dolphins? Crazy thing is, I'm going to tell you how the Giants could beat the Dolphins in today's video. The Giants are going to be playing the Miami Dolphins this Sunday, October 8th at 1 p.m. Eastern Time. The Giants enter this game as 11-point underdogs with the total over-under at 50 points. Join us for our watch party this Sunday. We'll be going live an hour before kickoff, hanging with the crew and having a lot of fun. So subscribe, turn your notifications on, and join us on the 8th of October this Sunday at noon Eastern. Let's go. All righty, first things first. The Miami Dolphins are going to be motivated heading into this ballgame. The Dolphins, after putting up 70 points against the Denver Broncos, got beat handedly by the Buffalo Bills. And that tells me that they are going to be ready to play. They don't want to drop another game that could drop them in the AFC East standings. Let's take a look at this head-to-head matchup, the 2023 comparison so far. When you look at offensive points per game, the Dolphins are scoring the most. Stats thrown a little bit out of whack because they did have 70 points versus the Denver Broncos, but they're averaging 37.5 points per game. The Giants are the lowest at 11.5. The Dolphins are the best at 37.5. Defensive points per game allowed. The Dolphins' defense is not all that good. We'll spend more time on that coming up in a second. Giants' defense, I thought, was actually good against the Seahawks on Monday night. Daniel Jones gift-wrapped them 14 points with 2 turnovers. The most damning stat is that third one. Offensive yards per play. The Dolphins are averaging 8 yards per play, the best in the NFL. The Giants, half of that, the second worst in the NFL. Turnovers allowed, 8 for the Giants, 5 for the Dolphins, and turnovers forced. 5 for the Dolphins and 0 for the New York Giants. Look at this, more stats. The Dolphins can get it done in a multitude of ways. The Dolphins, they are averaging right now 343 passing yards per game, the best in the National Football League. They also average the most rushing yards per game of almost 178. So that's going to be tough. They're also solid on third downs, and they're somewhere in the middle of time of possession. So pretty much you're facing the best offense in the NFL. And that is not good for the Giants because of this. You're 1-3. Your season's on the line. Since 2020, 4 of the playoff teams, since they changed the playoff format, have made the playoffs. I think it's around 9% of teams. 1-4 is a death sentence in the NFL. If you lose to the Miami Dolphins this week, your season is over. It is over before even Halloween. Your season is cooked. It is finito. It is done if you lose to the Miami Dolphins this week. So let's do this. If you want the Giants to beat the Dolphins, I want you to subscribe to the channel. Sub for Giants dubs. Let's go. 2-3? That ain't that bad. That's doable. Come on. Show some freaking heart. If you want the Giants to win, hit that sub button. And if you're already subscribed, I want you to type me in the comment section right now. Let's start with some strengths for the Miami Dolphins. We showed you they're the best offense in the NFL. But where they win is this: creativity in their playing calling and speed. Mike McDaniel, in my opinion, is the best play caller in the National Football League. He's the most creative play caller. He is very, very innovative and creative. And it's the speed that this team has that allows them to do that. Tyreek Hill is the fastest receiver in the NFL. Jalen Waddle is the second fastest receiver in the NFL. Devon Achane Is it A-Chain? Is it a Chan? Not sure. He's changed it. I think it's a Chan, Devon a Chan. He is extremely fast. If you watched this channel last year during the draft process, he was a player I wanted the Giants to draft. We know Raheem Mostert is also one of the fastest backs. You got the 2 fastest backs in the NFL. You got the 2 fastest receivers in the NFL. The Dolphins use pre-snap motion more than anyone else. There's going to be doing horizontal motion. They're going to be doing that little cheat motion. They're going to be doing everything to gain every single advantage that they can. Giants need to understand the speed that they are going to face this Sunday will be different than any other team that they have faced so far. Another place that they win, and really one of their biggest strengths, is their quick passing game. Tua Tagovailoa is a guy that has proved me wrong. He was the guy that I didn't think was all that good, but he is the real deal, man. He really is. He takes that 3-step drop, and he lets it rip. Half the time when he hits his back foot, he already knows who he's throwing to with that lefty throwing motion, and the ball is out. A lot of 3-step drops, a lot of getting the ball out quick. He is one of the shortest times of snap to throw. So you're not going to be able to just generate a lot of pressure against this team. You're going to have to play good, tight covers, and that's going to be tough. Tua has been great this year. He leads the National Football League in passing yards, over 1,300. He's got 9 touchdowns and 3 interceptions, and he's completing 71% of his passes. He's the real deal, no doubt about it. Really good quarterback, and if the Giants are going to want to beat the Dolphins this weekend, they're going to have to find a way to eliminate the big play and get their hands up at the line of scrimmage, because I don't know if they're going to be able to get all that much pressure, but maybe they could bat down a couple of passes at the line of scrimmage. I'm going to tell you how the Giants could beat the Dolphins coming up around the corner, but if you want to win some real money playing daily fantasy, listen up. Go to prizepicks.com/CLNS and use that promo code CLNS, and they're going to hook you up. You deposit $100 into your account, they're going to match that, and they're going to give you $100. Instead of battling versus thousands of other players, including pros and sharks, you just select 2 or more players, pick more or less on their projected stats, and place your entry. Prize Picks is the most fun I've had, winning up to 25x my money this season. Quick withdrawals, easy gameplay, and an enormous selection of players and types are what makes Prize Picks the #1 daily fantasy sports app. This is the lineup that I'm going to be rolling with for the games this weekend. I'm going to select more on Tua's passing yards at 277.5. I'm also going to select more on the passing yards for Patrick Mahomes, and I'm going to select less on the passing yards for Dak Prescott. You can roll with my picks. You can fade my picks. Just make sure to do it at prizepicks.com/CLNS. And remember, promo code CLNS. They're going to match your initial deposit of up to $100. A way that the Giants defense can really put a stamp on this game is by taking advantage of the banged-up Miami Dolphins offensive line. Taron Armstead, their high-paid left tackle, he's most likely out. Connor Williams is going to be questionable. And Liam Eichenberg, who is the backup to Connor Williams, was graded out prior to Monday Night Football as the lowest offensive lineman in Week 4. We told you the Dolphins want to get the ball out quick, and they do that faster than anybody in the NFL. But this D-line still has to find a way to make an impact. Dexter Lawrence has been great. He's been graded out as the highest graded player for the Giants by PFF every game this season. But I just haven't felt his impact yet. Leonard Williams has been solid. He's been all right. Azeez Ojulari I thought was okay. Kayvon Thibodeau I thought was really good, at least when it comes to getting pressure on Monday night's game. But it's on those 4. If the Giants want to win this game against the Miami Dolphins, it's Dexter Lawrence, Leonard Williams, Azeez Ojulari, and Kayvon Thibodeau. You look at some defensive stats for the Miami Dolphins. They give up 29.8 points per game. That ranks 28th in the NFL. They give up 374 yards per game. That ranks 26th in the NFL. They give up 251 passing yards. That ranks 25th in the NFL. And they give up 123 rushing yards, which ranks as 22nd, which tells me the Giants should be able to score points. But we also told you very similar stats last week against the Seattle Seahawks. They were a bottom 5 defense in every stat except for rushing defense, and they held the Giants to 3 points. Look, the Dolphins gave up 34 points to the Chargers, 17 to the Patriots, 20 to the Broncos, and 48 to the Buffalo Bills. Their points per game is a little bit skewed by Week 1 and Week 4. This kind of scares me a little bit because those are 2 bad offenses, and the Miami Dolphins defense got the best of them. I think it's safe to say this. The Giants' offense is on the hot seat. That means Brian Daboll. That means Daniel Jones. That means Mike Kafka. That means Bobby Johnson. Their offense is on the hot seat. It 100% is. The last 14 games this team has played, the Giants are averaging just 18.5 points per game. The Giants are averaging 18.5 points per game in the last 14 games. Look, if they don't turn it around, it's time. You got to move on from a couple of people. Whether that's Kafka, whether that's Bobby Johnson, you got to do something else. Brian Daboll, you're the head coach. The decisions you make are going to affect your future as a head coach. How long and how dedicated are you going to maintain that relationship with Bobby Johnson and Mike Kafka? I thought my dad texted me something pretty funny last night. He said this, well, Marsh, guess what? We're not going to have to worry about Wink Martindale and Mike Kafka being head coaches. They may not even be coordinators for the Giants next year. What about this? Can the Giants beat the Dolphins? Can we shock the world? You're 11-point dogs, biggest in Week 5 of the NFL. Can the Giants beat the Dolphins? What do you think? Type Y for yes, type N for no. We usually close out these preview videos with keys to victory, but I don't even want to talk about keys to victory. I want to tell you what I am looking for, what MG is watching. Show some damn heart. Show some damn heart. You're the worst team in the NFL through 3 weeks, 4 weeks. You've been embarrassed on the big stage. Monday night, Sunday night, Thursday night. You get a game at noon. Show some heart. Damn it, show some heart. Daniel Jones, stop playing scared. I'll let you in on a secret, Daniel Jones. This O-line is bad, and you're going to get hit. So just play with that understanding. Stop leaving the pocket before you're having pressure. Stop bailing out of the pocket, throwing off your back foot. I want to see Daniel Jones step into a throw and rip it and him get hit in the freaking mouth. Show me that you care. Show me that you're not scared. Because no one in the NFL respects you. Eric Armstead shit-talked you on Twitter this week. The Niners shit-talked you on social media last week. Nobody respects you. Nobody fears you. Stop playing scared. Because that's what you look like right now. I'm also going to be watching Wan'Dale Robinson and Kayvon Thibodeau. I thought both of them looked good on Monday night against Seattle. I want to see the same out of them. Two of the brightest stars out of that 22 draft class that hasn't looked all that good. I'm going to be watching the little things. Be disciplined. Stop all the extracurricular activities. Be better on special teams. Take care of the football. Get off the field on third down. Do the little things. And the last thing, penalties. You had 6 special teams penalties against the Seattle Seahawks on Monday night. Show some heart. Stop playing like a wimp. Keep these two continuing on the upward trajectory. Do the little things and stop playing like a bad coach, undisciplined, loser mentality team. Show me you're not the worst team in the NFL. Because I'll tell you this much. If you lose to Miami, you're going to lose the following week to Buffalo. Then you're going to be 1-5 going into Washington. And the trade deadline's 2 weeks away. And if you're 1-5, there's no reason to keep holding your assets like Saquon Barkley, Leonard Williams, Adoree Jackson, and Xavier McKinney, who are all on expiring contracts. Look, I don't think the Giants can win this game. I'm going to be honest with you. I don't think they can. I have no reason to believe in them, but I will be rooting for them. I will be pulling for them, and I'm hoping that they can get a win. But right now, I have no confidence in this team. As always, I just want to say thank you, and I appreciate you for tuning in. If you haven't yet, give me a follow at @MarshallGreen_ over on Twitter. Well, man, Jay Liv, sorry, Marsh, sub for Caleb Dub. Yeah, sub for Caleb Williams. 1-17. Well, it's only going to be 1-16. You only play 17 games. But, yeah, 1-16. Right? 17 games? Yeah. 1-16. All righty, we're going to close out today's show with a mailbag. Nobody is ever going to accuse Daniel Jones of being one tough SOB. Yeah. Not ideal. Not ideal. Thunder says we will win because it's not prime time. Mike S. P.S. If you're still watching and they 1-5, listen to the games on the radio. Banks, Pop, and Howard, Cross, keep it real, and kill these guys. Good listen instead of Troy and Buck. Or just watch during our watch parties, brother. You can just watch us. We do live play-by-play. We do live play-by-play on this channel, brother. I promise you, our stream's better than them. We don't get paid by the Giants. We don't have to be PC. We could say what we want. And I do. And I do. I'm a Giants fan myself. Born and raised. I watch with the heart on my sleeve. All righty. Get your questions in for this mailbag. Hashtag Giants or Super Chat. We're going to close out the show with a mailbag. Hashtag Giants or Super Chat. Don, we appreciate you, man. Thank you, Don. Seeps ran to the restroom real quick. When he gets back, we'll start the mailbag. I don't even know if we have any questions in there. Yeah, Mr. Rick, I wish I could have left at halftime for 3 games this year. Yeah, Mike, I understand what you're saying, but what I'm saying is our coverage here on the channel during game days is better than Bob Papa and Carl Banks. We're not employed by the Giants, meaning we could tell it how it is. Live play-by-play on this channel on game days. No need to listen to Bob Papa and Carl Banks, who are employed by the Giants and are not going to say the things that they actually believe. Mike says, I'll be here next week. Mike, good to have you. Glad to have you, brother. Hashtag Giants or Super Chat. I don't think we got many questions in there. I guess we just won't do a mailbag. Do we not want to do a mailbag? You can ask multiple questions. Joshua says, stay loyal, Big Blue fans. What up, Gilly? What up, what up, what up? Cobra says this is going to be a rough season. These next 2 weeks are going to be rough. Nicholas says, let's do the mailbag. Ask a question for me in the comments, Nicholas. Hashtag Giants down below. Alex, what part of New York am I from? I was born on Long Island. Born on Long Island. Only lived there for a little bit. My family moved to Houston, Texas when I was just a young kid. Just a young kid. My dad is a New Yorker, though, of 35 years. 35 years. Alrighty, hashtag Giants or Super Chat. Alright, let's get into it. What's sponsor for this? Alright, bet. Yo, what up, everybody? We got a mailbag coming up on the channel for all of the real ones. As you are watching Giants Now by Chat Sports, I am your host, Marshall Green. Let's just answer some questions from subscribers. If we didn't get to your question today, change it by hitting that sub button. Join the channel right now. Fastest growing Giants channel on YouTube. My man Nope coming up with a question. Do we start Tommy DeVito and bench Daniel Jones? Why not give the kid a shot? What's the harm in doing it? The harm? I don't necessarily know if there's any harm in it. I think you could lose the locker room. I think you could have players quit on you. Because if you ask anyone in that locker room, they're going to say Daniel Jones is better than Tommy DeVito. Also, Tommy DeVito could get destroyed by this O-line, which Daniel Jones already is. And Daniel Jones at least has $82 million guaranteed in his pocket. Why not? Because he doesn't give the Giants the best chance to win, and you're still playing in a league where you need to win games. Brian Daboll knows that the Giants have fired 3 coaches in a row after their second season. I don't think the Giants are going to fire him. I don't think they should fire him. I think what he did last year was good enough to buy him one bad year. But Mike Kafka doesn't want to start Tommy DeVito because he's trying to get a head coaching job. No, you do not start Tommy DeVito. Not at 1-3. Get to 1-14, you can talk again. Gilly, Neal isn't a bust. He just isn't a tackle. Well, he played tackle at Alabama, and he was drafted as a tackle. I'm going to call him a bust. So far, he is a bust. He is not a good football player. right now. And that's a problem. You pick an offensive lineman inside the top 10 and not playing good. Maybe you try him out at right guard next year. I think you have to give him this full season at right tackle. I think it's next year you move Neal to guard. And to be honest with you, I don't even think he would be that good of a guard. He doesn't blow people off the ball. I hope he's a guard. Because if he's not a guard, he's going to be out of the league in 3 years. Is Evan Neal a bust? Yeah, he is. He is a bust so far. He can change it. But so far, he is a bust. Let me know what you think down below. Lumbagus drafted QB with the first pick in O-line for the rest of them. Look, if the Giants are in a spot where they're picking inside the top 5, probably if they're even picking inside the top 10, yeah, you need to draft a quarterback because the quarterback isn't good enough to get you outside of the top 10, which means you should move on. If you're picking first in the draft, you're going to be looking at Caleb Williams. If you're picking second, you're probably looking at Drake Maye. Maybe he goes third and Marvin Harrison Jr. Goes 2. But if you're anywhere picking from pick 3 to 10, you could be looking at guys like J.J. McCarthy and Shedeur Sanders. There's some other young quarterbacks out there. I think this is going to be a really loaded quarterback draft class. Giants will have problems once again on the O-line, but when you let go of Leonard Williams, Adoree Jackson, Saquon Barkley, that's over $50 million that you can spend on offensive linemen. How about we go get guys that are already proven instead of hoping that we hit on them in the draft? Because Joe Schoen, as a drafter of the offensive line, missed on Neal, missed on Azudu, missed on Marcus McKeithen. Got to be better. We'll answer more questions coming up in a second, but I got to tell you guys about our proud sponsor of today's show, Z Biotics. Go to zbiotics.com/chatsports and use the promo code chatsports, and then you're going to get 15% off your first purchase. That link will be clickable down in the comments and description of the show. Z Biotics pre-alcohol probiotic is the world's first genetically engineered probiotic. It was invented by PhD scientists to tackle rough mornings after drinking. Here's how it works. When you drink, alcohol gets converted into a toxic byproduct in the gut. It's this byproduct, not dehydration, that's to blame for your rough next day. Z-Biotics produces an enzyme to break this byproduct down. It's designed to work like your liver, but in your gut, where you need it most. Drink Z-Biotics before drinking alcohol, drink responsibly, and get a good night's sleep to feel your best tomorrow. This Halloween, pair your candy and cocktails with Z-Biotics to avoid a spooky next morning. That's zbiotics.com/chatsports, promo code chatsports, and you're going to save 15% off your first purchase. And also, Z-Biotics is back with 100% money back guaranteed. So if you're unsatisfied for any reason, they'll refund your money, no questions asked. All right, what up, P. Moore? What if we get the first overall draft pick and trade to the Bears for the second and a couple other picks, like next year's top 5 overall Bears are more than one draft away from being good? I don't mind that thinking. The Bears have their pick and the Carolina Panthers pick. Let's say you're picking at 1 and they offer you pick number 2 and pick number 3. That sounds really appealing, but my answer is no, because I believe that Caleb Williams is the best quarterback this NFL has seen through the draft process since Andrew Luck. I think he's a can't-miss prospect. I think he's going to be dominant, and I think he's going to be one of the best quarterbacks in the NFL within his first 3 years in this league. No, I don't want to pass up on Caleb Williams. He's a franchise changer, and he honestly may be the most talented quarterback to ever wear a Giants jersey. His arm talent, his ability to extend the play, make plays downfield. He's a really special kid, and he could change the trajectory of this team, in my opinion. So, no, I wouldn't do it. If you pick one, you take Caleb Williams, you run, and you go celebrate. Lumbagus, I believe a change of scenery would be good for Daniel Jones. He's looked bad, and the Giants hampered his development. He looks scared and lost. Fire sale and let Daboll start with Williams or Maye or Penix. I mean, look. Is he in a good situation here? No. Is he making the most out of his situation? No. Two things can be true. The Giants' offensive line is bad, and Daniel Jones is playing bad. Both can be true. Is one caused by the other? Yeah, but I've also seen Daniel Jones make some bonehead plays when not under pressure. The interception last night. Both interceptions last night. What about the interception to Stephon Gilmore in week 1? He's not under pressure. He's just running out of bounds, and he throws the ball right to Stephon Gilmore. He's made some really bonehead plays. He's missed receivers open downfield. I've done film breakdowns. I've done all that. You guys have seen it. Simply put, he is not earning his contract. And when you don't do that, it's like if you don't earn your salary at your job. What do? Snip, snip. They get somebody else. Giants may be at the time to do that. Thunder, we will win next week just because it isn't prime time. I hope you're right. I hope you're right. You fall to 1-4, your season's done. You fall to 1-4, your season's done. They better win. They better win. Thunder, if you and your friends want the Giants to beat the Dolphins, you got to subscribe to New York Giants Now by Chat Sports. It is proven by science. If we pick up more subs this week than Miami Dolphins today, another channel here at Chat Sports, we're going to win the football game. We didn't pick up more subs than the Seahawks. We didn't pick up more subs than the Niners. We didn't pick up more subs than the Cowboys. And we all lost. Maybe it's y'all's fault. Maybe I'm just kidding. Hit that sub button. Sub for Giants Dubs. Cobra Kai Karate. Don't get a QB. It won't matter with this O-line. Look at what's happening to Young. Give Jones one more year and give him a good O-line and see what he can do. Look, I'm not gonna argue with you. Maybe. Thing is though, like if you think about it like this, Cobra. Let's say the Giants end up picking top 10. You're telling me you're going to pass on a quarterback? You're going to pass on a quarterback if you're picking in the top 10? That's a business decision for Joe Schoen, my man. What happens if you get him a good O-line and he's still not good? Then you're fired. At least drafting a quarterback buys you a little bit of time as a general manager. The Giants will have a good amount of cap space. $30 million off the books for Leonard Williams. Another $15 for Adoree Jackson. They're not re-signing Saquon Barkley, so we're not even going to talk about that. Another 10 for him, 10, 15, that's 25, 30. About $55 million in cap space from those three guys. Spend it all on the offensive line. But I think you do that and you just draft a young kid. That's what I would do. I understand completely what you're saying, Cobra Kai. I've just seen enough. I've watched him for 5 years. He's not a top 5 guy. And I think to win a Super Bowl, you got to have a top 5 guy. Unless you have an all-world defense like the Niners. The Giants don't have that. Is Daniel Jones a confetti guy? Can you see Daniel Jones confetti falling down his face holding up that Lombardi trophy? I don't see it. I see this. I wasn't supposed to throw it. It's got that damn Eli Manning dump face, except thing is Eli Manning's one of the best quarterbacks ever and a 2-time Super Bowl MVP. I don't think Daniel Jones is that guy. Johnson, you with a $2 super chat. What up, Brody? What's the consensus for Caleb Williams? I will sign a document right now that says if we can lose every game and it means we get Caleb Williams, I'd do it. That's the consensus. That's what I want. That's what I want. All righty. I appreciate everybody for tuning in to today's video. If we didn't get to your question, remember, you can send me a DM over on Twitter at @MarshallGreen_, and I'll respond over there. Daniel Jones a confetti guy?
No, he's not.
For Daniel Jones to be a confetti guy, what has to happen?
You got to play for the Niners.
Brock Purdy is better than Daniel Jones.
Yeah.
I don't think the Niners win a Super Bowl with Daniel Jones. I honestly don't think they're as good with Daniel Jones. Because what Purdy does so good is his pocket mobility, and when a play breaks down, he finds someone open. When Daniel Jones escapes the pocket, he runs around like a chicken with their head cut off, and he can't find anybody. He immediately looks for the sticks. Someone show me a play where Daniel Jones is rolling to the right and throws the ball downfield. Send it to me on Twitter. Let me know where it is. He lost his confidence, dude. He's lost his confidence. He was solid last year. I will stand by my understanding of that. I believe he played like a top 15 quarterback last year. This year he's playing like a bottom 5 quarterback. You can't tell me it's only the offensive line. It wasn't the offensive line's fault on the pick 6. It wasn't the offensive line's fault that he couldn't hold the ball with 2 hands and he's fumbled 28 times in the NFL. That's his fault. Hold the ball. Hold the ball. It's not the O-line's fault he threw it right to Stephon Gilmore. It's not the offensive line's fault that he threw it right to Tariq Woolen, who dropped an interception. It's not the offensive line's fault that he threw it right to Quandre Diggs for a pick. It's not the offensive line's fault that he threw it right to Malik Hooker in week 1 and he dropped a pick. Ridiculous. Johnson Eustace, how does Jones's contract work? Let's just go through those photos real quick if we could, Seeps.
It's not pretty.
It's not good. It's not good. Alrighty, so this is what Jones's contract looks like. So his base salary for this year is irrelevant. Next year it's $35 million. Has a cap number of $47 million. If you trade Daniel Jones prior to June 1 of 2024, you would save $36 million this year, $36 million, and you would have a dead cap hit of $11 million. The best way to get off of Daniel Jones's contract is by trading him. If you cut him after this season, he will have a dead cap hit of $69 million. If you want to get out of his contract via cutting him, it has to be after the 2024 season. You would have to cut him in April of 2025, and that would save you $19 million with a dead cap hit of $22 million. If you want to make him a post-June 1st cut, the only time to do that is prior to the 2025 season, where you would have just an $11 million cap hit and $30 million in savings. The thing is, though, when you make cuts post-June 1st, you can't use that money in NFL free agency. It rolls over to the next year. So, to answer your question, Johnson, best ways to get off his contract are by trading him or by cutting him after the 2024 season. Really the only two ways. And even then, you still have $22 million on the books for him. It's not all his fault. I know I'm talking a lot about the quarterback, and people are going to think I'm a Daniel Jones hater. That's okay. You know what I hate? Losing. You know what I hate even more? Seeing my team get embarrassed on national stages. You know what I hate even more, Seeps? My team not scoring a touchdown at MetLife Stadium in 2 games.
I mean, only 3 points.
They are averaging
8 quarters.
They have played 8 quarters. They've scored 3 points. They aren't even averaging a half a point a quarter.
That sounds like it sounds fake. It sounds fake.
S Teacher Planner, what up? What up? Hope you're having a good Tuesday. One of the realest ones out there. Yeah, let's call up Eli. All righty. We're going to sign off on today's show. We've been live for an hour and a half. I appreciate everybody that tuned in. Good audience today. Over 1,400 people have tuned in. I didn't think Giants fans wanted to hear about the Giants today, but we had stuff to do. As always, I want to say thank you. We appreciate you, and let's go big.